The chain of Caucasus Mountains forms a border and connecting link between Europe and Asia. We found a tradition there that had miraculously survived a long history of invasions. A mysterious medieval land. The stories of Swaneti amazed us. And today, too, the life-giving waters of Georgia flow all across the land. The wine of this country is just one of the gifts the gods have bestowed upon it. Its people live in harmony with the Black Sea. We continue our search for the hidden treasures of Georgia. Today, we're moving from Mestia to David Girija, Georgia's land of spirits. We traverse the Caucasus Mountain range via its high, flat plateaus. Along the way, we spot a flock of sheep grazing leisurely upon the plains. Kakheti province has some border disputes with Azerbaijan, yet its peace remains uninterrupted. We stop for a moment to make the sheep's acquaintance. But they don't seem to be too interested in welcoming strangers.
Сейчас снимаем документальный фильм. Это по всей территории Грузии. Отсюда это до Давид-гора, это сколько километров сейчас еще доехать?
10
метров или?
Километр, да?
Сколько километров? Равный километр.
Здесь 4 вара игры.
До свидания, спасибо вам.
It looks like we've confused the shepherd a little with our question. This is a road down which countless people have walked in pilgrimage across the ages. It leads to the spiritual heartland of Georgia, the monastic complex of David Girija. A lot of people continue to visit this place to heal their spirits. They believe the Georgian miracle happened here. Some monks still live on here in David Girija, a monastery carved out of the living rock of this desolate hill.
이것이 6세기경에 세워진 데이비드 가레자라는 수도원인데요. 이곳은 마치 기독교인에게 예루살렘이 성지인 것처럼 조지아인들에게는 평생 꼭 한 번은 와봐야 되는 그러한 중요한 유적지라고 얘기를 하네요.
Saint David was one of the 12 Assyrian monks who arrived here in the early 6th century. He spread the word of God far and wide and began meditating in a cave upon this hill, which ended up becoming a monastery containing 19 churches.
We feel here, it's for us, for our soul, we are growing with our soul here. It's a special place, you know.
Legends say that Saint David has been responsible for healing a great number of people. And he is also said to have received the water of life in answer to one of his prayers. The name David Girija comes from Saint David's name. He was buried here, and it is now considered the holiest place in Georgia. These people still follow early Christian traditions, the way they must have been carried out in the old days.
이 길이 데이빗 가레자 수도원 옆에 나 있는 외길인데요. 이 길을 통해서 많은 수도사들이 보행의 길을 걸었다고 합니다. 저도 지금 그 길을 따라 올라가고 있습니다.
This region is the driest in Georgia, but after the miracle of David's tears, a lot of monks hollowed out caves here and prayed. We can still see how the rock was carved in order to collect rainwater. And still to be found is the odd cave where monks once practiced asceticism. They chose a life of deprivation and hardship in order to preserve their faith. This must surely be one reason why the place feels so holy. We left Georgia's spiritual homeland and headed on to our next destination. We took a break next to a unique lake.
초원 한가운데에 이런 그 산 중턱인데 여기가 거대한 그 호수가 있습니다. 호수가 있는데 좀 옆에 좀 이상한데 이게 좀 하얗게 지금 돼 있거든요.
It's a salt lake. Who would have imagined that a salt lake could exist on the plains of Kakheti?
짠물이에요. 소금물이에요.
The salt content of the water has turned all the surrounding vegetation white.
이게 지금 하얀 게 이게 소금기 같아요. 하얀 게. 짜요. 이게 염분입니다.
Wildflowers somehow manage to flourish in this barren terrain, and birds are known to stop by. Georgia may only be 1/3 the size of the Korean peninsula, but it's a whole lot more mysterious. We continue on our way in search of another of Georgia's hidden jewels, Borjomi, a place in the middle of the country with plenty of water. Borjomi is Georgia's top tourist attraction. The clean water brings visitors from Russia and Europe. There's even a brand of mineral water named after the city. I came across my first statue while walking in downtown Borjomi. Who could it be?
Это Чайковский, да? А почему он здесь?
Он здесь отдыхал.
Отдыхал, да.
Боржоми.
Там же, да.
Отдыхал здесь, в парке.
Понятно.
Да.
Я первый раз слушаю.
Да.
예기치 않게 여기서 유명한 작곡가를 만나게 됩니다.
Russian virtuoso Tchaikovsky stayed here and made music while recovering from illness. Let's find out what it was about Borjomi that inspired Tchaikovsky. Borjomi National Park is the largest such park in Europe, and it contains within it an ancient forest preserved in its original state. Different animals and plants live on here very much as they did in ancient times.
하늘 끝까지 다 있는 것 같은데요. 조지아는 몸과 마음의 힐링이 아주 최적의 장소인 것 같습니다.
I hope this splendid piece of nature's creation continues to be protected in the future. Within the park is the place that has made Borjomi famous.
Здравствуйте. А это что это такое? Два? А для чего это?
Borjomi.
보르조미, да? 아, 이게 보르조미 물을 담는 건데 2리터짜, 2랄이랍니다. Вот это боржоми, это так известно, да?
Да, вицика.
Да? Давайте, возьмите.
Сейчас.
Спасибо.
Şunu da gidiyor.
이거 굉장히 좀 수줍어하네요. 이게 뭐 유명한 물이냐 그랬더니 뭐 그렇다고는 그러는데 더 이상 얘기는 안 해주네. 그래가지고 물을 한번 담아봐야 되겠습니다.
The Georgians are so proud of their natural sparkling mineral water. They say that in the beginning, God gave oil to Azerbaijan and water to Georgia.
약간 비릿한데요, 맛이? 굉장히 따뜻합니다.
During the Soviet era, it is said that the ruling class drank this water along with the finest vodka.
뭐랄까 철분이 좀 많이 들어간 듯한 그런 냄새가 좀 나고요.
It is a pleasure sampling sparkling mineral water from the other side of the world.
I love that water. We have the same water in Poland, but it's better. I suppose that it's
No,
better.
it's not the same. This is another type. Yeah.
Another time, it's like similar water, but it's better. I suppose. I really like it.
I'm beginning to envy the life here, surrounded by nature and water. There's water enough to last 1,000 years, and the uses to which it is put are various. We decided to visit a nearby greenhouse. These cucumbers and tomatoes are some of the most important foodstuffs for Georgians. The produce of this region is uncommonly colorful and fresh.
Потому что мы делаем это с экономией.
아, сэкономить, да?
Сэкономим деньги, потому что если мы этим горячей водой греем радиаторы, и здесь держим температуры, которые нужны для всего процесса,
아하.
чтобы выращивать этот продукт.
아하.
Если на электричество будем,
Это дороже, да?
да, дороже, да, очень дорого стоит.
Ага.
Или газ,
Ага,
есть,
понятно.
дорого стоит все.
Georgia imports fruit and vegetables from places like Turkey because it has long winters. However, sometimes the quality doesn't live up to the cost. That's why greenhouse farming is an essential part of Georgian agriculture. No one knows when people started using the water of hot springs for this purpose. But there is a bathhouse, which is thought to date back to the 1st century AD. Nowadays, the hot water is used to control the temperature within the greenhouse. The water that God gifted to Georgia compensates for whatever else it may lack. After heating the greenhouse, the water is returned to the earth. Not wanting to waste this precious resource, I try to wash my feet in it, but it's a little too hot for comfort.
뜨거워. 이걸 다 버린단 말이야? 네, 여기다가 딱 온천 하나 짓고 들어갔으면 정말 좋을 것 같아. 너무 아깝지 않아요, 이 물?
This water has been purified over thousands of years and has been a constant blessing upon Georgia. Joseph, the owner of this farm, was kind enough to its gifts with me. There are even more people who benefit from Georgia's blessings. The fertile lands and temperate summers of the Caucasus make for the best grapes. Over 500 types of grapes are grown here in the mountainous regions of Kakheti province.
Виноград вот здесь. Вот это виноград.
это да?
Да.
요게 바로 이제 포도가 되는 거라고 하네요. 요게.
виноград.
이게. 아하.
There is evidence to suggest that Georgians have been making wine for 7,000 years now.
Это когда это будет созревать, вот этот виноград? Когда будет это, само фрукты это будет можно кушать?
Сентябрь, октябрь.
Сентябрь, октябрь, да?
Да.
Это одного...
Most of the grapes harvested in the region end up as wine.
Да. Кино звезды.
And there is something that must be bought on the way to sample it. Tamori says we need to cook pork to go along with our wine.
Да, да,
Вкусный, да?
да,
Это из вашего дома?
да, домашний.
Это домашнее, да? 아, 이게 집에서 기른 돼지랍니다.
I'm not used to roadside butcher shops, but I'm nevertheless excited about experiencing a new Georgian flavor. We bought quite a lot of meat. Three generations of Timori's family live under the same roof. He's going to show me his winery first. Georgians believe this country is where wine started.
집에서 하고 있는 와이너리네요.
It may look like a basement, but it means a lot more than that. Krevri are made here even before houses. Krevri are jars buried under the ground with wine stored inside. They look like Korean kimchi jars.
Я буду открыть это. Там так надо сделать, чтобы ни одного воздуха не прошел там. Если воздух, все испортится.
Так, да?
Да, потому что я сделал так. Здесь пустое.
Это пустое, да? 아, 여기는 지금 비어 있는 거라고 얘기해요.
Пустое. Потом это надо хорошо почистить. Снизу, сверху.
Ого, это тон, да?
Это тон, один тон.
Гева!
It's quite deep.
에코 есть, 에코.
Krevri can hold as little as 10 liters and as much as 2,000 liters of wine. This is wine from last year. Tamori makes wine every year, not for sale, but for his family.
красиво так. 와, 이게 좀 독특한 와인 맛인데 약간 톡 쏘는 맛이 있습니다. 톡 쏘는 맛이 있고 뒷맛의 향이 아주 기가 막힙니다.
Будем сделать чача. Я опоздал, ну покажу, как надо.
Все это камень, да?
Это так сделать, чтобы не испортиться.
Now he's going to show us the largest kevri he has. But this one doesn't have wine inside. It's a traditional Georgian brandy, known as cha-cha.
Вот что там, покажи. Видишь? От него от него идет водка уже.
아, 냄새가 좋은데요?
Cha-cha contains over 50% alcohol. It becomes stronger during fermentation, and different regions use different ingredients.
Уже поздно это сделать. Ну, если хорошо этого сохранять.
Tamuri used whatever grapes were left over from the winemaking process to make this cha-cha. It's clear when fully fermented. And this cha-cha isn't quite ready yet, but I decided to try it anyway.
Может быть и испортится?
А? Да, если
Бывает, да?
Если вот это вытек. А мы дали ни разу интересно.
И 원래
Это оставляем так, потом я буду.
어우, 취했어. Это то есть это праздничное это блюдо, да?
Да. Вот
Так.
одновременно, чтобы когда тогда подставим, вот здесь, вот отсюда начнем.
Отсюда, да? Вот
О,
так.
вот
да?
так. Чтобы тогда положим, там все одинаково было.
Так.
О,
We're making grilled skewers with the pork we bought earlier.
жир тоже.
I thread the chunks of pork onto the skewers one by one, as per Tamuri's instructions.
Вот и все.
Это все, да? Или еще?
Все, все, хватит. Вот, поставим так.
Then we lit up some dried vines, which adds flavor to the matzvadi, a traditional Georgian food. Burnt vines are an integral part of this recipe. We cook over a small fire without marinating the meat. The scent coming from the vines will make the meat taste even better. I had a hard time waiting for the end result. Our meal is ready at last. Tamuri says we have to use bread to remove the skewers.
Потом этот хлеб очень вкусный будет.
아, 이렇게 해야지 이 빵도 맛있고 고기도 맛있다고 그러네요. 아, 제가 먹어본 돼지고기 중에 가장 맛있습니다. 이 돼지고기에 포도 향이 싹 배가지고, 야 이걸 뭐 어떻게 표현해야 되지?
Wine and matzvadi are truly gifts from God. The Black Sea takes up the westernmost portion of Georgia. Lying at a distance of 20 kilometers from Turkey, this place has long served as a route for exchange between civilizations.
지금 보시는 것은 그리스 로마 신화에 등장하는 황금 양털의 주인공 메데아 공주의 거대한 기념비입니다.
Princess Medea was the Caucasian princess who stole the golden fleece and ran off with her love, Prince Jason of Greece. This myth tells Georgians about the former abundance of the Caucasus.
Тбилиси. Сегодня ее день рождения, мы задумали,
Поздравляю, поздравляю.
И вот впервые едем, они увидят море.
что сегодня
Да,
увидели,
да,
пока
это
еще
да.
не видели.
Это надо записать в дневнике. Сегодня я видела. Вас покажут в
Batumi is a place of myth that still remembers the wealth of the kingdom of which it was once part.
И Майя.
Ну, для меня большое, потому что моя мама из Батуми, и с детства я приезжал.
Это родной город, да?
Почти мой второй родной город, можно так сказать.
Хороших респондентов.
Georgians work hard to revive the wealth that once lived here.
До свидания.
Bye.
The Batumi Bazaar used to be filled with life, with East and West trading cultures. But it has slowed down with the recession, and most of the produce on offers consists of Turkish vegetables. There is a coffee shop in one corner of the market. This coffee is from Turkey too. Strangely enough, you have to add water first, then boil it to make it right.
Это пацан, это, что? Любая женщина, любая семья пьет. Это у нас, знаешь что? Садятся по утрам, да? Соседи вот рядом, кто живет, и зовут всех.
Все, да?
Ну, соседи рядом, да? Вот соседи как, вот рядом дом. И собираются по утрам, вот когда мужей отправляют на работу, потом женщины собираются и за чашку кофе там разговаривают, кого как. Да.
The traces of Turkish culture on this land must be the remnants of past invasions. Georgians accept that culture in a way that is all their own. And of course, their love of flowers will never change. There is a Georgian saying that goes, "A man who doesn't buy flowers isn't a man at all." So I guess I should buy some for the friends I meet on this trip.
근데 굉장히 아름다운데요? 굉장히 예쁜데요?
Это тоже женщина.
Здесь местные, да? Это как называется?
Гербера.
Гербера?
But here I am, receiving flowers instead of giving them.
Спасибо большое. Спасибо. 선물로 주셨어요. Да?
Смотрим телевизор.
Это что?
And another one. This really shows Georgian hospitality.
제가 마치 그 신랑이 된 듯한 느낌이 든다고 그랬어요. 와 이거. Да, Бог даст.
My flowers ended up turning into a bouquet. The people of Georgia have such warm hearts that I think I'm falling in love with the place.
생전 처음으로 제가 꽃을 선물을 받아봤습니다.
Now it's time to find a good restaurant to try some traditional Batumi food.
Здравствуйте. Могу ли я попробовать у вас ачарули?
Да, можно.
Да? Спасибо.
Acharuli is a traditional kind of Georgian bread. It's Georgia's staple food. The shape and taste differ by region, but that made in Batumi is just a little bit special.
Ачарули, мы считаем, что оно ассоциируется вообще к морю. Оно имеет вид как лодочка маленькая, да? А внутри яйцо как будто там человек какой-нибудь находится. Ну, а вот такое, чтобы была история какой-нибудь к этому, такого мы не слышали, по крайней мере.
In this city, even bread is related to the Black Sea. Where else would people be compared to the fragile yolk of an egg? The smell of the freshly baked acharuli whets my appetite. You're supposed to burst the yolk before you eat it. And you're also supposed to tear the bread into small pieces to keep the egg and cheese inside.
맛있어요. 너무 맛있어. 진짜 맛있는데?
As is the case on most trips, I was given the opportunity to gain an altogether new culinary experience.
처음에는 조금 느끼할 거라고 생각이 되는데 전혀 느끼하지 않고 굉장히 담백하고 입에 착착 달라붙는 그런 맛입니다.
It's now time to discover Recce Beach, which lies 30 kilometers to the north of Batumi. It looks like summer's here already. This is the only sandy beach in Georgia, and the black color of that sand reflects the fact that it lies on the doorstep of the Black Sea. Hot sand baths are very popular here.
그러시기 레체나?
까이야 백해비.
까이야. 아.
와이 아카네 우레 녹티와. 백해비자 까이야 메리.
아.
아스 차차도 가다파.
This sand is well known for its iron content. It's good for arthritis and is popular with soccer players.
오아스 까이야 오트카리 백세.
The sands of Recce Beach are completed by crushed shells, washed ashore by the waves.
Это поможет.
I decided to try hot sand bathing myself. Soon I could feel the spirit of Georgia between my toes, and the black sand washed away my exhaustion. This is the land said to be God's last gift to humans. And people here have pure hearts and souls. May God bless them always.